did you burn down LA? Yeah, that was wild. That's a lot with that one right there. I think they said it is the worst fire in US history or something. Like it's like top 5 on Californian history. Every single time anything ever happens in California, I need to do the usual statements that to make it all clear for all of you. The state is larger than a lot of countries. It is taller than the entirety of Great Britain. I do technically live in Orange County, therefore I am bordering LA County. I am at the same time 50 miles away from any of the fires. I am an hour drive from anything that was burning down. When I was leaving here on Tuesday to go to Vegas, to go to CES, I did get some of the worst turbulence I've ever had on a plane. That was pretty spooky, I'll give you that one. The only thing I would have had to have dealt with, would I have been back in the state, would have been a red sky-ish color and lots of a smoky smell because the wind was blowing it down south. It's wild. It's genuinely insane. Just a horrid combination of extreme drought and dryness mixed with the 30 to 50 mile per hour winds that just happened to be there during that time, combined with whoever that dickhead was who planted eucalyptus 100 years ago and so on. There's always the joke that California is always on fire, but normally it's like a bad bushfire that just covers a lot of the populated areas in ash because it's very dry here. But this is like a real one. Like, holy shit. Not a great start to 2025. No, not a great start. It's a rough opening. You know, it's fine. So long as the first 10 minutes may not be great, but let's hope the rest of the movie ends up panning out to be pretty decent. Also, isn't like Texas, like, or the East Coast, like freezing? Just completely barren, cold tundra. Shit, guys, maybe that Al Gore guy was right. Screw the eucalyptus here, stupid invasive plant. Is that an Australian talking? Or unless it's California talking, in which case I agree with both of you. Wood Elf added permitted term Gaylord. That's really funny because I slipped. You beat me to the screen cap. You were already prepped. Yes, the Magfest. It's the Gaylord Hotel. Yeah. It's the first time I'm actually going to Magfest. I've heard great things. I hear it's just always on. It's like, hey, it's 24/7. The hotel is there. You can go get yourself like a game or a tabletop at any point in time. Anyway, so CES. It's kind of weird to have gone to CES. You know, it's not necessarily my major thing. It's a tech conference, right? It's a major tech conference. It's consumer electronics show. I was gonna say expo, but that's an E. It's almost like a culture shock. And that might sound really strange to say out loud, but it sometimes felt like a culture shock because it's at the Las Vegas Convention Center. If you've ever been to the Las Vegas Convention Center, it's massive. It is the largest convention center I've ever seen by a big mile. It is like, I don't know, maybe triple the size of the San Diego one. It's huge. The whole thing was used. Like every hall, every part of it had something there. Giant things from like Sony and Toshiba and LG and it's genuinely gigantic. I was there for a bit, mainly because I had sponsors to do. I had 2 AMD / Elgato Corsair sponsors, which you saw me if you watched those streaming there. We are in the AMD booth, and then there was the Blacklight one, which is like chairs, desks, various gaming peripherals, which you also saw me stream there. Sir, another brick has invaded the convention. Yeah, so where the BBT? No, it's the BBL. AMD is always great to work with. They're very easy. They're also an easy sponsor. You know, it's like, hey guys, buy Ryzen 7s and stuff. And it's just like, whoa, Bricky, hot take, roll that one back. It's always good to get sponsored by good products. The Blacklight people were people I didn't quite know much more about, but then I went there to their booth and looked at their stuff, and it was pretty good. Like, I mean, it's a classic, like, solid standing desk. Did somebody say standing desk?
I was raising the standing desk and I looked down and I noticed the PC was floating. The headphones have not the longest cable, and so it was being dragged up into the air by the cables.
Good old like usual chair type stuff.
It just works. You see, we got the background headrest. We got the lumbar support. We got the reclining ability here.
They had like a nice little like tube light.
Look, it's a light. You can see it here. You will play 1,000 more hours of Balatro.
You can put next to your camera to operate as almost like a key light in a way. There's some cool things. When I say culture shock, I'm pretty sure English was the least spoken language at CES, except for the words AI. Holy fuck, there was a lot of AI. There wasn't much AI art overall or anything like that. The other half of AI was like things that actually seemed okay. Like I saw a headphone that had automatic translation via AI. There's like a Roomba with an arm or something that had it was a ton of AI stuff. It was really the main thing for it. Some of it was kind of cool. I mean, I won't lie, the translation thing is actually a little bit neat. I've said it a million times. I'm not anti-AI. I'm anti like theft of art and also anti like replacing people. I'm very much pro like tool. You know, it's like, hey, this is a good tool to use. Generative AI, yeah, it's a much bigger issue. But like for the most part, you know, it has its place. Yeah, it has its, especially in just like industrial things. The translation thing seems badass, and I think you might need generative AI to do the translation things. You need to understand like speech patterns maybe, but I don't know enough about AI. I did funny haha at booth, and that was all I did was funny haha at booth. So I'm not going to get too deep into it, but yes, I genuinely think the least spoken language at CES was English. It was entirely like Mandarin, some Cantonese, Korean, German, Vietnamese, Japanese, everything that wasn't English. I literally left that convention thinking to myself, damn, I should really learn Mandarin. Not only because I'm in California, there's a huge Chinese population here, but also I need to work with a lot of overseas vendors for things like merchant stuff, and knowing Mandarin would be really helpful. So I downloaded Duolingo. One day at a time, chat. You won't last a week? Yeah, I will. It reminds me, and it goes like, hey, do your thing, Bricky. And I'm like, okay. The bird is sad when you don't, and you don't want them to be sad. Exactly. Or I might give up in 2 weeks. But because of that one chatter, I'm going to go at least a week just to spite them. Maybe in 2 weeks, I'll quit. As a MAG veteran, it's going to be very different than CES. So I've been told, but I'm excited about that. You know, I got multiple personalities. I'm crazy. You know, I put on a different face depending on what convention it is. We all know that you love CES because you got to play 30 minutes of Balatron stream. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I do need to share arguably the funniest story from there. Now, so I did a bunch of stuff. Obviously, I shook hands and shaked babies and all that stuff. So in the last AMD stream, I'm playing Call of Duty. All right, crank it. Black Ops 6. And from all of that, it's, you know, because it's an Elgato sponsor. They want you to play Black Ops 6. Cool, we're playing Black Ops 6, doing the usual thing, playing zombies. And then someone in chat goes, I think I hear Linus tech tips. I'm here, sitting here, right? And then I very faintly out of the corner, because it's really good like sound canceling headphones, I can hear him behind me. And so I'm basically sitting here at my desk, and off camera over here, he's doing some kind of like, this is the new processor for AMD, but etc. And he's doing a bunch of takes and whatever. And he's just, you know, he's just in the background doing his thing. I'm assuming he's shooting for his videos or whatever. So my time frame was 2 to 6. That was my time, it was 2 to 6. It was about 5:45 when I started hearing this. And I got there at like 2:15 or so because I was a little bit late because I had the Blacklight sponsor from before that, which ended at 1, and I had to make my way to a whole other hotel and eat lunch because I hadn't eaten anything before, scarfed out a bunch of food, and then ran over to AMD so I wouldn't be too late. So I'm there at 6, chatting and talking the whole time, full volume, and there's a guy to my right, and he's basically just like standing there and I'm pretty sure he's either got a camera or something else, and he's shooting. I think he's shooting Linus. And every time I said a word, every single time, he was just like. And then one time, he literally like went around and peered at like the chat or something, and I realized he was fucking infuriated. He was probably pissed out of his mind because every single time they were recording something for Linus, I was just chatting over them.
I don't want to keep talking.
But I didn't realize because I was just there fulfilling my obligation of 2 to 6 because that was my obligation. And you know, that was my time slot. I didn't look over. I didn't do anything. Like I didn't do anything because I'm doing my thing. And it's like 5:50 or whatever. So the thing is though, is that the doors were already closed and people couldn't come into the AMD thing anymore because most likely that time slot was booked out for them to film during this time. But I guess there was maybe some kind of scheduling error or there was something going on. And so at first I was like, hey man, like back off, I'm doing my thing. But then I'm pretty sure he was told this was like a time where you could film. And then you've got Bricky fucking streamer dumbass Brickster man just yapping to stream the whole time when they're trying to film. I felt doubly bad afterwards because like 5 minutes or like 10 minutes before we were going to end, one of the AMD employee guys was like, hey man, you can finish up now if you'd like. And I was like, oh no, it's okay. I was a little late to this. So I want to make sure I get my whole time slot from 2 to 6 to make sure things are fine. And I said, and then he left, which I'm pretty sure was him being like, hey, sorry about the please leave. And so I walked to the front after I was done, said goodbye to chat, turned off the stream, walked to the front and was like, hey, thanks for the whole time. And they were like, oh, hey, keep your voice down a little bit. They're doing the thing over there. And I'm like, well, I was streaming the whole time. And then the lady in the front was, I don't know. Yeah, apparently I don't know. I'm just here I'm just the front desk person. Sorry, random folks out there, or I guess Linus's team. Sorry, guy to my right who was probably on an insanely busy schedule because it's like the biggest tech creator going around CES and would probably had a very specific time slot to film this while I was chatting my ass off the whole time. So if you see a Linus video where he's talking about AMD stuff at the AMD booth, I guess listen closely because maybe you'll hear me in the background. So that was the highlight of the CES trip. That was the best part. That was as far as things go, that was my favorite time of the entire CES trip, was just having that little moment there. It was pretty good. Is there anything else really fancy going on at CES? I mean, I talked to Sony a bit. They're really cool. I talked to some of their guys. I talked to some of the LG folks. You know, they were nice. Met a couple of other streamers. I met a gal. It was so funny. She, I guess, maybe some of you know her. I always have a hard time pronouncing her name. Emerome, I think, Emerome. Blonde gal, no, not Emeru. Yeah, however say it. Apparently, one of the people who, like, the talent agency or whatever that manages all of us, is one of her, or she is one of the client creators of one of the people there. But she was also there at like a party with Ray that I also went to. And so the two of us were just like, she was like, oh, you hang out with VTubers? Like, do you know Ray? And I'm like, yeah, I know Ray. I was at his party like 3 weeks ago. And she's like, what? I was at that party. Not much past that. Shook a couple hands for some fans that were fun. I mean, I went to a club. I mean, it's not my vibe. It's not at all. I can't say it wasn't like cool for the people, like the agency. So I was like the guy who was really up tall on top of the stairs and stuff, and with all the girls that were coming with the big bright vodka bottles, and I felt super out of place, if I'm being totally honest. I was just like there with my little like vodka soda, just like I was there for like an hour and a half, and then I went back to my hotel room, and I just sat down and I heard It was fine. I mean, I appreciate them, doing that. It was very kind of them. I mean, I got into like a club for free and everything like that, and table booth service and all that stuff, but it's a bit much. It's a bit much for me. Wait, did I get drunk? Oh, I got drunk plenty. Yeah. That was mainly CES. Anything that was really, really cool at CES, I can't like talk to you about because I either can't share that information or it may like go farther in the future. And it might be like a future like conversation. Half the time when you go to these things, your whole job is just to meet people and talk to people. And then if they like you, they'll send you an email. And then when they send you an email, maybe you get a sponsor, maybe you don't. And that's about it. CES, woo! It was fun. I'll do it again. What do you think about the honey stuff that came out?